compared to the absolute barren, snowy wastes that you just were, this is almost overpowering to what senses you have left.
Baro would probably take a deep breath. Oh. Well, I am sure whatever the sight, it must be quite the change. We are not in the snow anymore. Petrichor.
You find Petrichor like right at your side.
What do you see?
As you pan your gaze around, there are trees taller than any building you've ever seen. Their branches extend to lengths that you can't even believe. You are thinking about the trees that you've seen around the doctor's laboratory as you traveled around help with things that they needed. And usually when trees get to a certain point, they even collapse under their own weight. Not these folks. These are massive, and the greens and yellow hues, and you can see in a tree in front of you there is red fruit hanging from it. It's again the dichotomy of going from such a barren landscape to a place so rich, full of growing things is it's a lot to take in for anybody.
Petrichor was just kind of in silence for a second, taking all this in, because I've never experienced anything like this before kind of whimsically describing what they see and how drastically different it is from what they're used to.
This also does remind me, let me think here. Probably the exception being Petrichor. Everybody else, you're very warm because you're wearing winter wolf fur.
Oh my god.
It's Clucky though.
I guess Scree will gently fold it and like go into Lovitar and tuck it into like his kidney or something.
Not the kidney. That's where he comes from.
Doesn't have any.
Fair.
It's that Scree specific like storage room. It keeps it very nice and clean.
Beautiful.
Well,
so
if Clucky
go
was
ahead.
wearing a cloak, he would have shrugged that off like almost immediately, given the change in temperature. He would have followed Petrichor and Baro out to the open. Upon seeing the landscape, does any of the immediate flora have would it appear to be edible fruit nearby that you were describing earlier to Clucky?
Well, I mean, just from the distance, the tree that has the fruit is probably, about like 50, 60 feet away, but very large tree. The fruit doesn't look like any fruit that you've seen. It's about, I would say, maybe like grapefruit sized hanging from these trees. It's, I would say, it's more of like a purple color, but the outside texture is reminiscent of a pineapple.
Okay. All right. So with that, Clucky's gonna be drawn to this fruit, and he's going to start inspecting it, seeing if he can tell whether or not it's edible, if it is safe to consume.
What kind of check would you like to make?
With Wanderer, Memory of Maps, Geography, trained settlements, and other features around you. In addition, you can find food and fresh water for yourself and up to 5 other people each day. I think this sounds like a nature check, maybe? With
Alrighty.
Outlander? Or Wanderer?
Sure.
Would that be at Advent? Well, this would probably be a flat roll since it's a new land, I'm assuming.
I would treat it as such, yeah.
Oh, ooh, that was a 5. Hard pass.
Looks good.
Is it poisonous? Does he eat in any way?
Seems fine.
All right. Well, Clucky is going to be intrigued by this fruit, so he's gonna grab a couple and stash it.
Alrighty. There's dozens on this tree. You could literally take however many you wanted.
Oh, what's Clucky wearing? I need to find out what kind of gear he's carrying. Oh, he's just got a backpack. All right. Yeah, he's just gonna take probably say 4 or 5. No, how many is in this party? 5. 5 fruit.
Two of those people don't eat, though.
Clucky doesn't know that.
Lucky's never seen them eat.
Right. So he's just gonna collect
They
5.
must be starving. Grab extra for them.
Y'all are terrible hunters. Here you go.
These people are picking.
Petrichor needs fruit. Come on. How else
This
is
is
Petrichor going to grow?
And I love it.
All right.
Anybody else venturing out into the new world?
Am I done packing up my little spores?
With the description, the transferring of images through Petrichor to Barrow, and then the gathering of the fruit, I would say, yeah, probably.
Lovitar's gonna walk outside. He's just gonna look around, and before I even roll anything, he's just gonna go, 9 hells. Why is it so bright? Can I roll for perception?
Absolutely.
You ain't seeing much. 17.
17. The description of what Lovitar sees is almost identical to what I have described to Petrichor. So you see much of the same things, the trees, the leaves. You also do get a lot of the sensory information that Barrow has, just not as detailed, since that is Barrow's main form of absorbing information. But you do see one other thing. About from where you're coming out, a little bit off to the right, kind of out of the corner of your eye, moving behind a large tree. You can swear that was a white dress.
Wait, what?
I'm gonna say under my breath. I'm next to the group, right?
Probably. I don't think that, other than Clucky, I don't think anybody's traveled too far from the
Dress.
Too far from the opening.
Lovitar's gonna drop his voice almost to a whisper. Someone's wearing a white dress. To my right. I'm moving. And he's just gonna dash.
All right. You
How far was this dress?
Did I say how far? I probably about like 50-ish feet. It's not very far.
So I made it dashing.
I'm going to have Borrow dash alongside Lovitar to make sure that I keep my blindside distance so that I don't lose track of him as I also approach wherever he's going.
So you're staying more or less within 10 feet of him.
Yeah.
Man can run.
What?
So the pair of you and Scree by association. You make it to this tree. It's a large tree. The trunk of this tree is probably about like 15 feet in diameter. You make it to it. You round Lovitar. You're like about to follow basically right behind where this person went. And you come around and Scree, I'm gonna ask, are you like in or are you kind of like peeking from
I'm in.
Okay, yeah, gotcha. So with you being in Borrow, you come around the corner shortly afterwards, and with your blind sight 10 feet, the only creature that you can detect is Lovitar. But Lovitar, you are standing directly in front of a woman.
Gosh. Sorry.
Oh, you would.
Oh, no. Let me see.
She is absolutely gorgeous. I don't have art to share. I'm sorry.
Oh, I pulled up the chat and everything.
Let me see if I can find some really quick.
So,
Absolutely gorgeous, Smash.
okay. I'll just wait.
Let me see if
Oh,
there's.
you're good, Victor. I'm shutting up.
She's
No.
I
I was gonna say, I was gonna try to do something, but I think I'm just gonna let it be until whatever he says next.
Fair
And
enough.
based on that, I'll react.
I love how I said Smash and he's like, oh, you totally would.
Oh, this is the
Show us
outfit that
me
they
next.
are described in.
Oh, hello.
So we're in Star Wars, and this is the Ewok forest.
Isaac, I'm just
Place.
letting you know I will fight you for this bitch.
No. Let's let this play out. She's mine.
On the contrary, sir. Hello there, lady.
You're in my chest right now. You are
Yeah.
literally in my chest.
I
cavity.
know.
You do
Only
see
Scree knows how to
this.
rearrange guts.
Sorry.
Rein it in. Rein it in.
I'm here.
I'm sorry. I'm good. I had to. I'm so sorry.
Yes, this rather revealing white dress with chains hanging from it. And this woman, incredibly beautiful, hair pulled back incredibly tight. Not a single strand of hair is out of place.
Do I recognize her?
And not yet, you don't.
I think I know who it is.
Clock heroes.
And I will reiterate, Borrow, you do not sense anything.
So I do not sense anything, but she is within my blind sight.
Looking at the map from a top-down kind of area, yes.
Okay.
Nothing has quite been said, yes. Or nothing has quite been said in character yet, but yes. Lovitar, you can see this person, and Borrow has not sensed anything yet. The woman... Were you going to say something?
I was gonna RP a little bit, but go ahead.
No. By all means. What are you going to say?
Who are you, and why are you here?
Who are you addressing? I do not sense anyone.
Lovitar doesn't even answer. He's so focused right now.
She
And Scree come out
smirks.
and be like, hey, what?
Oh, Scree, you can see them.
Can I?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh shit.
Scree's gonna go back in the body.
Woman smirks and says, "Is that any way to address me?"
I'm assuming I know her now.
You have
Or
heard
still
this
no.
voice very infrequently.
How well is Borrow's senses? Like, would
Do I
he
hear
be able
that?
to hear me stiffen?
Uh.
Not like, not.
Whoa! What the fuck?
Tarzan, give the. Oh.
Good night, everybody.
Can't stream anymore.
And that's how that story came to an end.
It's a legitimate question, though, Matt.
I was going to joke and be like, and this is what gets the Twitch stream taken down. I opened up Twitch and there was an error. I was like, oh my god, it actually happened. No, it just needed me to reload it. Oh, jeez. We're having fun.
We are.
I
Dead.
will say this. Lovitar, you tell Isaac, you tell Victor if Barrow would sense.
You sense it. It's such a that you just hear him just go almost resolute, but not.
Kenna has the safety blanket.
I am not talking for the rest of the campaign.
Why are you here?
So wait, I have a question. When she said, "Is that a way to greet me?" Did I hear that? Like, even though I don't sense her, did I get to hear or no?
You didn't hear anything.
Ah, I see. Okay. Lobathar, who are you speaking to?
He still doesn't answer.
She kind of tilts her head, almost annoyed. I hear from you every 5 minutes asking for help. And now that I'm here, you ask what I'm doing?
Well, I'm so sorry for assuming all these times you didn't come to my aid that you would show up now.
You found yourself in quite the situation.
He just kind of chuckles a little bit. I think I learned that off of you.
At this point, Barrow wants to basically, he would use his hand to sort of like lift it, hover it close to Loatar's face since he is within his 10 feet. And he just basically aims to give him a slap in the face.
Do you take it?
I'm focused, my guy. I don't see it. If I did, I'd be rolling with double advantage, disadvantage. I mean, because like,
Damn. You just get this hand across the face, and you hear an audible chuckle.
I do or Victor does.
Lovitar hears.
Barrow, if you hit me one more time, I swear I'll cut that hand off.
If you speak to some unseen thing that it's happening either around me or inside your head without explaining what is happening, I will hit you again.
Spree will, at this point, crawl out. Barrow, no. I need you to step back for a moment. And Scree will turn towards the lady. How are we to serve you?
Barrow,
She-
sorry.
Oh.
No, I was just gonna say Barrow hears Scree, and then she seems to be. They seem to be also addressing this individual, and Barrow just takes a step back as he just holds his staff and just focuses on listening the part of the conversation he can actually listen, while he still tries to see, he tries to hear or like smell or anything that may hint to something else being there.
As Scree says, how are we meant to serve you? Her gaze, her face doesn't move, just her eyes drop to where you are. Intentionally, so she's looking down at you. And she just says, "You have your task, rodent."
Ooh.
Screen nods and doesn't say anything else.
Bree, you can feel Lovitar's anger start welling up as soon as she calls you a rodent.
What?
And Victor, I'd say that you could probably feel just the atmosphere change.
Mm-hmm.
Screen just kind of like tap his arm and like, it's okay. It's like,
She looks back up at Lovitar and almost muses for a moment as she says, "I give you life. I give you purpose. I give you free reign to do whatever you wish with that purpose. And that's still not enough for you, is it?"
Is anything ever enough for you?
Never.
And I guess I get that off of you too.
So, what is it that you wish? To be one of my priests? One of my inquisitors?
Make me
Have
your
you-
blade.
My dear, you're nothing more than a pain.
Your favorite pain.
Would you like that to be the case?
He just stops and just starts, he lets out a breath. Would it grant me more power?
She just smirks. Does a 180 kind of stepping to the side and holds her hand out to you and says, "Dance with me."
I have so many jumbled up memories I might have forgotten how to.
Don't worry. You know I'll lead you.
As you always have. And he takes her hand.
Before she moves, she raises an eyebrow and looks down and says, "Leave the vermin."
Ooh.
Scree just kind of like slowly just jumps off himself.
Nope. Lovitar catches him.
Ah, hey.
Call him by his name first. His name is Scree.
It's
Oh.
okay, love.
I am fully aware of the name that they go by.
So say,
Petrichor has been about 30 feet away just in case something happens and they need to help out. But they see Barrow kind of reach their hand out and they walk up to take it. Petrichor see or hear anything?
Petrichor cannot see or hear this individual. However, you are hearing both Lovitar and Scree's half of the conversation.
are we talking in Abyssal right now, or are we talking in Common?
I was
She's been talking in common.
Yeah.
Okay, I was just making sure.
Hey, love, drop
Call
it.
him Scree, and then I'll come do whatever you want me to.
I think
No,
you'll do what I
Love.
want you to regardless.
Lovitar looks at Scree. I'll get her to say it eventually. And he sets Scree down.
As you bend down, she's watching you the whole time, and she goes, "Remove your boots." And you can see that she's wearing stiletto heels, like could actually kill you stilettos, in the middle of the forest. And she removes them herself.
Lovatar bends down, starts undoing his boots. Borrow. Take Scree. And he drops both of his boots off.
While you're
Tricor's
down,
gonna cast detect magic to see if they can detect anything, because they are very concerned.
I love those pictures, Victor.
Getting so saucy.
are you actively casting it, like just right away?
They kind of sit and listen to the conversation for a little bit because they've only seen a little bit from far off, so they didn't know if maybe there's a figure hidden. But now that they're there and there's nobody they can physically see, their first thought is something magical that's happening. So they're just off reaction and instinct. They cast detect magic to see if they can find anything.
Lara, during this time, while still intrigued by it all, he crouches and puts his hand in a very. It seems like a way that seems as if he's done this before. A very usual, like putting his hand down. So for Scree, if they wanted to just get on it and then just walk to his shoulder, if they wanted to.
Yeah, Screw probably like place a paw on and like look back concerned and then kind of jump on.
Petrichor, casting detect magic. There's you cast it, and you know that it's working because you see the auras coming off of your comrades as they always do. And holding Lovitar's hand, you see a shape that looks humanoid for the briefest of moments. Just enough that you know it was there, and then it flickers out.
Tricor will kind of look up at Lovitar, extreme concern on their face. Like, you've never seen them this worried before. And they've been pretty worried before.
Lovitar, as you started to take off your boots, getting down to your bare feet, while you're kneeling on the ground, you see that the area of the forest floor in front of you is bramble and rosevine. And when you stand back up and you're holding her hand, she rotates to take the front of you and puts your hand on her waist and then leads you into a waltz onto the brambles. Do you just follow?
He kind of just you all hear a grunt, but he just follows. Scree, you would know that this man thing doesn't show pain.
You take 5 points of piercing damage.
At this
Lara,
time,
at this point. Oh yeah, go ahead.
well, I was just gonna say at this time, Clucky would be walking up behind Petrichor and placing a hand on Petrichor's head and staring confused at Lovitar, wondering what's going on. Why is he just standing out in the open by himself? And why
Oh,
Scree...
it is
Oh, I'm
worse
waltzing.
than, yeah, you are watching him waltz by himself on thorny vines without boots on, his bare feet.
I feel I should also say Xanthi has come to see what the commotion is as well, so she will be right up behind Clucky.
Baro will probably lean slightly to where Scree is as he says, I anticipate we will understand this better soon enough.
Yeah, like, I'll explain later, but we gotta just let him do it right now.
Petrichor isn't listening to any of the conversations. They're trying to follow Lovitar.
Like, you are walking towards him?
Actively, yes.
No, stop her.
Petrichor?
Sorry.
You're not listening.
No, she's in danger. You have to stop her.
Petrichor, please.
Watch them hesitate for a second,
Or they.
kind of stop. Like, you have seriously never seen them this worried before.
Does,
It'll be
does...
okay. You can't go over there right now.
Would Clucky be able to sense some sort of level of danger coming from this experience, or is he completely just...
Roll perception.
Xanthi goes over to Scree at this point and just goes, did his brain fall out while we were trying to fucking go to this next dimension? Because it looks like he's lost his damn fucking mind.
No, I do not think this is a rarity, at least not for him, even if it is for us. Isn't that right, Scurry?
No, this is rare.
I need a little more than this to try my best to keep my calm and trust your word.
He's gonna be okay. But we gotta have faith in him.
And after, will we be okay with him?
Yeah, probably.
Lovitar. The area that this individual is leading you into a waltz is being treated as if the spike growth spell, which every 5 feet that you move, you take 2d4 piercing damage. She is forcing you to waltz on this thorny ballroom that she has created. Before the second step sets in, she says, you will have a lot of work to do being one of my pains. And she moves you 5 feet.
It was max damage.
That's 5 more piercing damage.
Am I hearing the sound of his body stepping on these like vines and things?
Absolutely.
You've put me through so much pain just putting me together. I think I can take some more.
We'll put that to the test. Another 5 feet. It's hard to pick up d4s. Another 5 points of piercing damage.
Baro takes a deep breath and he can sense at the edge of his steps that Petrichor stopped right at the edge of like the brambles and the thorny vines. And he just walks slowly to stand next to her and offers his hand.
They don't even notice it at first, just like staring after Lovatar. Like you can see, well, you can't see, but like anyone who can see even just their countenance, you can tell they're itching to help in some way, like whether it be a spell or something. And they feel so helpless because they've been told that they can't.
Barrow is
You have a
going.
question.
Hmm?
You have your hand up. I was guessing for a question.
Yes. So I forgot that I have the spell see invisibility. Would that work on this woman?
What do you think?
Detect magic couldn't see her.
I saw her for the briefest of moments, and then it was gone.
Fuck it, I'm going to do it and see what happens. I would like to cast see invisibility.
You cast see invisibility. And what you see is not the same thing that your comrades see.
Holy shit, show me.
It is
Smash.
still it is still a gorgeous woman, but her garb is more suited to what she very much so enjoys.
So,
And
Xanthi,
yes.
I will say this, Xanthi, you notice that the whip that you see that she has is an exact replica of the one that I have.
Okay.
Xanthi, what you also see is her looking directly in your eyes.
Xanthi pretty much just stands her ground and just looks at this woman as she is dancing with Lovatar. Pretty much just gives the look of, I see you, bitch.
And she says, "No, no,
No.
Damn it.
Xanthi,
Yes.
you are blind."
Hold on a minute, actually.
We have two of them now.
First
Okay,
time.
while she's looking at that, I'm gonna go tinkle because I don't want to ruin this moment. But I have to go.
I scared Isaac so bad he's got to pee.
Oh no.
You guys have to trust me. Whatever happens, we cannot change that outcome. But if we try to intervene, we are very likely to die in a very painful, gruesome way. He's holding his little rat paws up.
I'll wait till he comes back to respond.
Nah, he's focused
While
on
we're
this anyway.
While we're at an intermission, let's give a quick shout out to Certified Acehole who tuned in again to see this stream.
Welcome back.
You're
Oh,
back.
hi, Mark.
I'm reading the chat
Okay.
right now. I have slight
case
concern
y'all are
about
wondering.
what's going on.
In case y'all are wondering, they are a friend of mine.
Oh.
I was wondering why they were so cool.
It is not the character that I thought I did to have like certain abilities. So Xanthi at this point, upon going blind, will just kind of
Oh, there he is.
oh, okay.
Just a quick disclaimer. Clucky is right next to Petrichor as well. He's explicitly concerned about Lovitar.
And upon Xanthi being blinded, god damn it, I don't know how long this is gonna last. Xanthi takes a moment, blinks her eyes, she rubs them, she just lets out a sigh, and she goes, God fucking damn it, that dumb fucking bitch. And she turns into the direction of which she last saw Scree. And she goes, who the hell is that whore in a bone bikini dancing around with your undead buddy right there? She is not happy. She is not happy at all, but she is doing everything she can to contain herself at this moment.
For somebody that just lost their vision, they're acting very cavalier about it.
There is a reason for that, at least with how I have this backstory handled. So
Not that
Not
you could
first
see
time.
it, but Scree would just look over, eyes wide, and just again, not that you could see it or anything.
Isaac,
but...
does Lovitar bleed
Yeah.
at all?
Like a black ooze, maybe, instead of like blood. Maybe it just depends on the body part.
But there's visible. Oh, okay, visible.
Matt, that's your call. I don't really know that much about undead.
Well, it's weird because you're like more than your standard undead. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Although I will say this, for the scene specifically, there is a very long trail of red blood.
No.
Contrasting against the green nature of the floor. Petrichor.
Sorry.
You have been resisting the urge to help Lovitar. And based off of your rolls, the memories playback of watching Xanthi fall through the ice, of watching the pulse of arcane energy as you were running to get to your master, Dinah. And despite knowing that you've been told you have to wait this out, it's almost as if your body is not responding to the commands that you give it. You were designed to help.
I would message you.
I saw. For a little bit more clarification, looking at our pinned message, number 3.
All right. Boy.
I am a bit horrified because I have no idea what's going on. It
Oh, you
scares
don't.
me.
No one knows.
You guys watch, like, for a decent 5 seconds, this intense struggle. You can hear it too. Like, it's not even just visually. Like, you can hear all sorts of stuff happening in their body. And anyone that can see them their eyes, like before it's been flickering, it's just an immediate switch to red, and they start glowing red. And knowing that he's dancing with whatever energy they saw, fighting bolt.
Wait, what?
No.
With that, Clucky falls
God, oh,
Hang on,
alongside.
hang on. Hold. You are going to throw guiding bolts. Barrow, being 10 feet away from Petrichor, you feel the shift in stance and know that this is becoming offensive as you had a prepared action. So I will allow you to potentially interrupt this if you wish.
I do. I'm just now debating as to the manner. Um, Borrow. Borrow hears the whirring and he recognizes it very well because of how close he's gotten to Petrichor. And he can understand what it means. And he senses the shift. And as he senses the shift, and he senses the movement of what feels like an attack, which is something that he's used to because of his knowledge in combat, he closes the distance between him and Petrichor as he attempts to grapple and move Petrichor in a way that even if if they were to send that bolt, it would hopefully not go in the direction that it was meant to go. Potentially moving it in the direction of knowing that he has Xanthi over here and Clucky over here and Lovatar over there. He will probably just try to shove it, just redirect it if possible.
So this is going to be a contested roll. Barrow, being the initiator of this, has to roll athletics. Petrichor, you may choose between athletics or acrobatics. This is going to be a flavored shove attempt.
Athletics.
That's a natural one.
Oh.
A natural one, you say?
Mm-hmm.
Petrichor.
Oh my
Petrichor,
god, we're all gonna die.
roll to hit.
Don't make me cry, my dude. Why do I do this to myself?
My god, we're all gonna die.
Okay. Dirty 20.
Roll
Thought you hit a nat 20.
damage.
Oh,
That is 4d6 of damage.
10.
Petrichor, you take that step back, and everybody watches Barrow step forward, hand out, reaching. And as Petrichor's hand reaches forward and Barrow's hand comes from the side, the impact of the wrists is just a moment too late as the bolt leaves Petrichor's metallic hand and impacts Lovitar.
You see this guiding bolt. I'm assuming it's just like a streak of light, correct?
Very much so, except instead of like the normal blue magic that you're used to seeing, this is a deep crimson red.
You just see it go and pierce through the left side of his chest as he continues to dance.
Wait, where's the spleen of the body?
Not even a sound escaping his mouth.
With the guiding bolt being launched, you notice Clucky tense up and his wings sprout up from behind his back and he takes flight. He is currently in a readied stance looking at where, trying to find something that is causing this as the source of this problem, but he's completely confused and doesn't know what to do.
You can
Okay,
see
no.
Petrichor's winding up for another attack.
Clucky, restrain Petrichor, please.
Bara at this point just Petrichor, stop! Everyone, stop!
He just looks around and
Lovitar.
goes, "What's going on?"
Lovitar, as the energy impacts your side, without even looking down, she just smirks and says, "Things are getting really interesting now." Another 5 feet.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!
They're still going for another attack.
That is 7 points of piercing damage.
Xanthi hear Petrichor going up for another attack?
Probably, but in this moment, Lovitar, she just leans in and whispers in your ear, "I wonder how interesting it will be after you possibly kill one of them." Another 5 feet.
Oh my god.
Scree's raising their hand.
4 points of piercing damage.
Yeah, that is it for me.
No, damn it, I counted wrong. Fuck. Been tracking your HP. 3 points of piercing damage.
You ruined it.
I ruined. I did.
Okay, rewind. I didn't go down. Erase that from your memories.
Tarzan, take this out in post. Left with 1 hit point, she holds you still. Blood soaking the ground as she smirks and says, "Well done. You'll do well as one of my favorites." And she turns, and now everybody in the party can see her.
Except for Xanthi.
Your sight has come back
Oh.
for
Oh,
this
it has?
moment, as she just says, "I'll be seeing all of you very soon." And with a high-pitched chuckle, she disappears into a black smoke.
You audibly hear Petrichor's gears like grinding. And you don't know if they're capable of screaming, but if they could, that's the sound you hear.
It's an R2D2 scream.
More English.
So still blind after that, or is her vision fully restored by this point?
Your vision is fully restored, and at this point, I will say with the woman's departure, Lovitar, your HP returns And you are now level 4.
Is the bramble still there?
The bramble sinks back into the earth.
Scree books it to Lovitar and just like scrambles to get at his like sewing stuff and like try to get started. Scree hasn't noticed that he's like any better, so Scree's just scrambling to like get the thread and needle and stuff, puts the needle in his mouth and like starts trailing the thread with him as he like tries to find the hole that Petrichor shot.
Xanthi is going to approach Lovitar upon seeing this woman. By chance, do I know anything? Is there? I hate to fucking do this. Can I roll like a history or religion check?
A religion check would be what is necessary.
Okay.
I
As
also
this is
roll-
all happening, Lovitar just falls to one knee and he just sits down.
That is a 16, my good sir.
I believe I heard somebody else say that they were rolling a religion check, so I would like to see everybody's results before things happen.
I will put it in the
That's
chat.
a 4.
I have the game log up so I can see all of you guys. So, Petrichor, actually, you know what? Knowing about your deity, I will allow you to make this with advantage. So let's see if you can get better than a 4. Not much better, but
Not much better.
you know your deity, and this one doesn't appear to be. It doesn't ring any bells. But yeah, you are unsure of who this person could have been. Xanthi, on the other hand, something is familiar. And you know that you're making the connection between her whip and Lovitar's whip, but you're unsure where it goes. You know that there is something there, though.
Upon the woman revealing herself, Clucky would have swooped down, but apparently she would have disappeared before he could get to her. By that point, he just lands beside Lovitar and helps him to his feet, trying to.
He doesn't get up. He's sitting there for a minute.
Xanthi is. Are you done, Tarzan?
Yeah.
Xanthi walks up to Lovitar. She just kind of squats down to get eye level with him and goes, "So, you gonna tell us about that lady you were dancing with on the thorns? And dude, it looked like you lost your fucking mind."
No. And he just pushes himself up to his feet. I'm fine, Scree. Let's keep moving.
Xanthi
Or
just
is statue
drugs
still
and goes on.
conceiving?
Hang on, you were both talking at the same time. I'm going to say KJ first, and then we're going to do Taylor, what they were saying.
For anyone who's paying attention, Petrichor has not moved. They're like statue still red lights going off, just heaving. Like, the more you watch, you can see slight bits of steam rise from off of them. They're not looking good.
Taylor?
I was just saying, Xanthi doesn't even question Lovitar on his answer. She just shrugs and she leaves him be.
Barrow is going to sit in front of Petrichor as he just sits with his legs crossed, looking into Petrichor's eyes, as he very calmly says, "Find your stillness, child. Find your stillness. Whatever the rage, whatever the frustration, It does no good to any of us, especially you.
You can kind of feel waves of heat radiating off of them. Don't really breathe, so you can't really hear any heavy breath, but you don't sense any change in their demeanor as of now. They don't talk, they don't move. They're just there.
Baro has a moment with his head tilted as he hears nothing changing. And he just nods. Very well. He takes off his hat, puts it in front of him, and then he just sits. We will just be here until you are ready. And he just preps himself in like a meditation position, just there, staying next in front of Petrichor.
Lovatar is gonna look at Scree. I don't know where Scree's at, but and if
Really, like,
anybody
back on your arm,
sees,
putting stuff away.
then he's just gonna be staring right at like his feet. And if anybody's close, they can hear it because he's not really paying attention to his words. But he's just going to say, just very quietly, "That was almost as much pain as when she put me back together."
Screech kind of like nods and finishes like wrapping up his arm that holds the sewing supplies, and just kind of like slowly makes his way up to his hair and just kind of like starts braiding it.
During Lovatar, Baro, you can feel the heat intensify.
Clucky's still going to be expressing concern about Lovatar. He's at this time going to reach into his pack and pull out a handful of berries that he's found from the last dimension and try and put it into Lovatar's hand.
He's gonna take them, look at them, look up at Clucky. Thank you. And just swallows them all.
Upon seeing him
Snap
consume the
for
berries,
Scree.
you start hearing Clucky coo in like as if like a sigh of relief.
He looks at Scree. You can eat those later.
Thanks.
Baro.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Xanthi, I think at this point, her attention is going to move to Petrichor. She's walk over to Baro and turn to him, seeing him sitting beside them, and just goes, "So, what's up with the little one?"
They are learning, I think. And a journey such as this is not an easy training ground. Baro is going to raise his hand and attempt to place it on Petrichor, right where her symbol is, where their symbol is. Closing his eyes.
Soon as you make contact with the front of their chest plate, it's hot. Not enough to do damage, but it's hot. And those watching, lightning speed, Petrichor grabs your hand and takes it off of them, and then goes back to how they were standing.
Baro feels his hand be swept away. And then he just calmly, once more, just returns to the sitting position. And just sits there in front of Petrichor.
If I may, for a moment, this was very intense for a lot of people. I'm just going to do an overall wellness check for everybody. Are we all okay?
No, we're good.
Only emotionally
I'm
traumatized.
So excited.
Like that whole Waltz situation, like had me in his grip. I was just sitting here like I had to mute my fucking
Could
shit.
you not?
I could just sit there and just be like,
Got,
"Fuck." But
That was so
got
well
so
done.
into character,
Huh.
like it was. I got enveloped in Petrichor's mindset. Like I was like, I have to help him. What do I have that I can help him with? Like, what can I do to prevent whatever's happening? Because I don't like the feeling of this. Like my brain was going 1,000 miles an hour. I'm like, you gotta calm down. This is bad for you.
is this from Legend?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, perfect way to describe that scene. Oh my god, yeah, I agree 100%.
Absolutely.
Good choice. Oh my god, yeah, no, that it was definitely tense, but I'm okay. Okay. Whew. I want to see that like in anime form, like so bad.
The waltz. That's what you want. You want this to be visual.
Yeah.
Reminds me of like a Tokyo Ghoul scene or something. You will all see Lovitar push himself to his feet. He'll kind of just like do one of these like shake it off things. He cracks his neck, and he looks at Scree. We have some things to talk about later.
Scree nods and just goes back to braiding.
Petrichor, I'm fine. And he kind of starts just walking back down to the laboratory. After he grabs his boots, of course.
Xanthi will go ahead and follow him. It's just silently.
Is everybody else taking their time?
Bara is not moving from in front of Petrichor.
I think after hearing Lovitar say that he's fine, they don't entirely believe it. But over the next minute and a half, you can start to feel the heat lessen back to what you're used to. But they still don't move or say anything. But those who might still be there, after about 2 minutes, you can see the lights flicker back to their normal blue.
After watching Lovitar consume or after that whole scenario and seeing that Petrichor's flashing red lights and ears are whirring and heat is radiating from them, Clucky would be confused by this behavior. He would probably watch him from a distance for the most part, and then once he started seeing the blue lights coming back, he would approach, pull his javelin from his back, plant the head into the earth, and just lean on it as he stands by Petrichor silently, just watching over them.
I think eventually you watch as, and Borrow, you can hear this, similar to when they're kind of going into sentry mode at night, they just kind of lower to the ground, kind of looking around, trying to distract themselves from whatever is going on in their head.
Borrow hears the shift. And he just asks calmly, "Will you sit with me a while?"
You don't hear anything at first, and then you hear a small, meek, yeah.
Aro hears the yeah and smiles. Tell me, what did you feel?
I don't know. I'm not familiar with the sensation that I just went through.
Ah, yes. Heightened emotions are quite overwhelming. But you see, Petrichor, sometimes the best way to help is to restrain. Even if that means having to sustain the struggle within. For we may end up causing more harm by attempting to aid in that which we do not know. Do you understand this?
You can kind of hear them contemplating. Like, anytime there's long periods of silence, you can hear the cogs in their head turning. I tried not to. Something. It what? My brain signals weren't connecting with the rest of my body.
So it was as if your will was not your own?
I think so.
And is there anything about your design that may suggest that this is possible? Some power beyond yourself?
Well, I have taken heavy damage since the blast that made my master disappear, and it's not been fully repaired. There's every possibility that I am malfunctioning.
Perhaps. Or perhaps not. Either way, I believe there is a lesson to be learned. Still, I wonder, will you trust and practice what I have said if the opportunity repeats itself?
I can try.
Try. I trust that when the time comes, you will do or you will do not.
With that, Clucky pulls out that purple pineapple-ish looking fruit that he found earlier and places it in front of Petrichor and pats them on the head as he moves inside to checks in on Lovitar.
I think they, for the first time, process that Clucky is even there. And don't jump, but like you can see a slight bit of surprise on their face momentarily before like really taking in that you're there. And kind of in confusion, having missed whatever gesture you just given them, kind of looks at you confused.
Well, is everyone ready to attempt and find out where is it that we are now? Or do we have any more dancing that I need to hear?
Xanthi wouldn't follow Lovitar with Clucky, so, or like before Clucky, so it's just you and Petrichor, I think, at the ballroom.
Are we just calling that the ballroom now?
Yeah.
You were dancing, the ballroom. Like, I don't fucking.
So are you guys coming back down to the shack?
Barrows stands up and offers his hand to Petrichor to see if they will take it.
They do take it, but it takes a couple seconds before they actually get up and start moving.
Baro waits patiently, and once they start moving with him, they join the group.
Do we have like 30 seconds to do something just for flavor?
Absolutely.
If not, it's fine. I'm just asking.
We'd love favor. Give it to us.
No! How dare you?
Sprinkle it
As
right
you
in,
guys
Salt Bae.
are, oh, I always do. I always do. Yes, some flavor. So as you guys are walking down, you just kind of hear. Lovatar isn't paying attention to anybody right now. He asks Scree, Scree, can you look at my back? I
Yeah.
felt burning.
Yeah, no, hold on. Scree will go over to his back and under his shirt. Kind of pop back up. What is that?
I don't know. That's why I'm asking you.
Do you want me to describe it to you or draw a picture?
Seeing that you are a master artist, why don't we see a picture?
Alright, give me a second. And Screw, like, I don't know what he's using to draw. He'll find something. Can I roll to find something to draw with?
I mean,
What about the piece
there's
of
dirt.
skin?
You want my dagger?
No. Normally, yes, but no. This will take a second.
Oh, are you actually drawing? Okay, all right. Let's
I'm drawing
distract.
it how Scree would. Y'all do your thing, I'll be back.
I'm so happy.
That's beautiful.
Better hope Petrichor doesn't see whatever this is.
And Lovatar's just sitting there, and he's looking at his hand, and just a little black flame pops up in his hand. And he starts tossing it from finger to finger, and then over to the other hand. And then he starts like flicking it between, almost like he would flick a dagger between his fingers, but with a piece of black flame. And then he just quenches it.
Beautiful. So, back in the lab, once again in a new dimension. What's everybody think they're gonna do about this? You've seen the crystal is diminished in glow. You can make whatever assumptions off of that you wish. But you do know that at home the dial must keep moving.
Could I possibly check and see if there is any recent disturbance aside from us there?
Sure, that would be a investigation or survival check, your choice.
While she's doing that, Petrichor can't exactly sit crisscross, but they tried their best to do so. And I'm going to start ritual casting detect magic on the stone.
Xanthi doesn't see anything because she rolled a 9 for survival.
Kind of hard to tell. There's a lot of loose
Crazy
plant
shit,
bits. There's a lot of footprints. There's a
Hard
giant
plant bits.
scorch. There's a giant scorch mark in the wall in the floor. There's
There was a battle just now.
yeah. There's a bunch of stuff going on. I mean, your best guess, if there was anything else, you guys trampled over that evidence.
We were being attacked by plants. We really didn't have much of a choice.
Yes. That is the beginning of dial number 2.
I guess the decision would be if we move forward or if we stay where we're at.
Was there any similar features to the last dimension that we were just in compared to this one?
Say that one more time. You were a little quiet for me.
So, is there any similar land features comparatively to the last dimension that we were just in to this one that Clucky would be able to recognize?
I think I'm picking up what you're putting down. How are you gonna try to check for this?
Well, if it's a similar landscape as to the last realm, Clucky would be able to lead the group to the town that we were just previously in. No problem, unless there's as long as there's like some similar features that could guide him. It can't. It doesn't have to be exact, but if there's like similar landmarks, like a pillar of some sort in the same spot that was in the last realm, or a mountain feature or something along those lines, he could recognize it potentially with the Outlander background.
At this point, you're not sure because walking out of the lab in the first, well, yeah, we're just going to keep calling that one the first dimension, even though technically it's the second one. In the first dimension, you walked out and it was flat. It was just barren. There was nothing you could see as far as the eye could see. At this point, walking out, you are in the middle of a jungle.
Oh, okay. So yeah, completely different landscape. Okay.
Yeah. Now, like, what I believe, saying that I believe that I'm picking up what's going down. At this point, you can't really say yes or no if, like, that mountain range is still there, if that ridge where Fyodor was, if that was still there, or anything along those lines. You just literally can't see that far because of the trees.
Makes sense. All right, gotcha.
This is what Scree drew in the ground. If y'all want to see it, look at that. Art.
It's pretty damn good,
dude.
Thank you.
I'm gonna do this because I still have it on my clipboard. This is the reference image.
What the heck?
That's damn fucking close.
I went through all this work and you're just like, actually, you gotta see the whole thing anyway. Jeez.
Well, because I want them to see how fucking good you did.
I drew them side by side. I have a stylus. It makes it super easy. Barely inconvenience.
You see Scree pull out a stylus out of Lovitar's body. I got this.
Like a big stick.
Not to just give Scree proficiency with painter supplies.
I mean,
Well, you don't have to.
They can Peter their way, like, through everything, just hide.
So,
Can't find me a cake.
Congratulations on leveling up, Matt, by the way.
Oh, thank you so much. I'd like to thank the Academy. Okay. What is the next order of business, gentle people?
Mr. Core is still ritual casting detect magic.
The Xanthi is gonna just kind of look at the podium, then seeing Petrichor being kind of preoccupied, she lets out a sigh and she goes, well, after that display, are we going to stay here and look, or are we going to try and go to another dimension?
I will say with the amount of time that I'm guessing it took Scree to draw that wonderful, wonderful masterpiece. I mean, it could have been 30 seconds, but it also could have been 10 minutes. I'm going to say Detect Magic has gone through. What are you looking for?
They're kind of trying to compare how the energy felt before and what it is now. See if they could still use it in another dimensional shift. Even if it's just one, it's still usable.
So, looking at the crystal via detect magic, beforehand it was a schoolless, raw, magical energy that you were getting off of this. So, now that you are looking at it, it's still the same kind of aura. However, it is severely diminished. You, um, you are basically getting the sense that the crystal is drained. I will say that you can make an Arcana check with
And at this time, Clucky's going to get a little impatient and stir crazy, so he's going to step outside and take flight and start taking in the immediate surroundings with around him, just get a better bearing on the environment.
We'll get to that 1 second. Petrichor, you do have advantage. You've rolled once.
That's much better.
That is much better. So, with the state that the crystal is in, it is still intact, in contrast to what happened when you guys traveled to the first dimension, which the crystal was shattered and unusable. You think that if need be, you could still use this crystal, you would just have to find some way to get it more arcane energy.
Charge it.
Charging
Pretty
it.
much. You also know that, of course, much like the first dimension, if you found another suitable replacement, you could do that. But now you have another option of recharging the crystal rather than just having to find a brand new one.
Petrichor, does that mean we can charge it with the moon? Is that what crystal users do? Is
I don't
charge
know.
the crystals with the moon and whatnot?
Well,
Petrichor would know.
In the meantime, Borrow has been just standing with his staff by one of the walls as he just says very distantly, and so the tide turns once more, and decisions come again, and we are to find our way home.
If I may get a little clarification, Scree, you just showed the image to Lovitar, right? Or did you
I
show
drew
to
it in the
everybody?
ground, and whoever saw it, saw it.
Is anybody looking at it, or?
I'll say Xanthi's around, but like
Victor.
Petrichor was very preoccupied.
Clucky is currently
saw that.
flying.
Correct.
All right.
Taylor, I'm sorry, did you say yes you would?
I guess because Xanthi's just kind of standing around the area.
Xanthi, I will allow you to attempt another religion check. See if maybe you can garner any more information now that you are seeing this image.
Wasn't that one?
You are. Hang on. Let me have some fun with this. You are.
Boy.
You are wondering why Scree drew a squid in the ground because you are looking at the image upside down.
Bubbles.
Yes.
Xanthi just turns to Scree and just goes, "Are you hungry?" It's a weird looking squid.
Oh, sure. What food do you have?
Xanthi just pulls out her barrel and hands it to Scree.
Ah, yes. Yep. Hungry. Yep.
Cluck it. You are. So you're just kind of trying to go straight up?
Yeah, he's gonna find a suitable elevated position where he can just get a bearing on the immediate surroundings, so he can better understand the landscape and traverse it a lot easier, and help his friends
So-
traverse it.
about, I'd say maybe 80 feet up, there is a rather thick canopy covering the expanse of this jungle, basically. Some daylight is peeking through, so I mean, you're assuming, yeah, you can go through it, but I'm just asking, are you going to punch that hole to see over the tree line?
Being that Clucky doesn't know any better, probably, yeah, he's just gonna go straight through it.
You
Will I like the results of it? Probably not.
you punch through the canopy, much in Clucky fashion, leaves and twigs raining down below you. Go ahead and make a perception check for me.
All right.
I was watching our facial reactions to our rolls. It's just the best.
Is this going to be an advantage with his background, given that he is currently just doing reconnaissance, as opposed he's taking time to memorize this terrain, as opposed to just trying to figure things out.
If you are taking time to memorize it rather than just kind of look around, see what you see, I will instead treat the result of your roll as how long you spend doing it rather than how well you do.
Okay, that works for me. He rolled a 10 with a +1 for perception, so 11.
11. So you're kind of punch through and start looking around, and you're taking in the sights, just kind of maybe doing a nice circle. There's definitely some elevation changes, but based on our previous discussion, you do not see anything that would line up from the previous dimension. Nothing like, this, like the mountain, nothing along the lines of that ridge where Fyodor was. There's, where you knew that there was solid flat land in the previous dimension. Now there are changes in elevation. On your first loop around, you don't necessarily know north, south, east, west, anything like that. But as you're looking around off in the distance, there's obviously some changes from tree to tree, as like this one's a little taller, this one's a little shorter, this one's a little thinner, so on and so forth. There is in the distance a massive tree that extends probably 5 times the height of every other tree in the area.
Basically, like the world tree in Avatar.
Yes, very similar. Although, if I had to kind of describe that tree, it would be more so that the tree in Avatar more like a willow tree. This one would be more akin to like a jungle tree where it's just kind of flat and then up and kind of roundish. So yeah, it is huge, and you can just see that like the trunk on this thing is just huge all the way around. You could spend forever looking at this tree to get every single little detail about it.
Does the terrain look like it kind of leads towards this tree?
So you don't have to go to the tree. You can go other places, but that is the first notable landmark in the area.
Okay, yeah.
The next one being, that is a perfect image. That is a
I like
perfect
it. That's
image.
good.
Yes.
Like Mother Tree
Absolutely.
vibes from Princess Mononoke.
Also very akin, or I mean, it's just like, yeah, there's a lot of them in different medias, but the result is the same. Giant, big, fuck all tree in the center of this jungle.
Tree that you can grandma. Got it.
Yeah. You, as you do a couple more flybys trying to like pick out any other details, the only other thing that you can catch on the horizon is beyond this large tree. You'd think that it would be it's kind of hard to judge the distance, but a good distance away, there does appear to be a spot where it looks like there is no trees. But in relation to that, you would have to go past the giant tree to get there.
Okay. So, only two noticeable landmarks: a tree at the distance massive in proportion, and beyond that large tree, a possible clearing of the jungle. No noticeable possible civilizations or anything as far as I can tell from this position. All right, got my bearing. At that point, Clucky's going to dive back through another breaking in the canopy, and
I like that you're specifying not through the same hole. He makes the second hole.
and returns back to the group.
Beautiful.
That is a gorgeous picture.
That really green one. That is the canon one for me.
Noise.
So Clucky has 2 terrain features to lock onto. That will help a little bit. Gonna need to try and establish 2 more features just to get a northeast, south, and west reference. But other than that, I can kind of help guide the party now. Kind of.
So Vitar is just gonna look down at what Scree drew in the ground. 9 hells. And he just stands up. Where were you going, Clucky?
Wait, I do have a question.
I do have an answer.
It comes to recognizing, I know this is probably a bit too late, but when it comes to recognizing the image in the dirt, since she, because it looks like the lady's whip, so would she have been able to recognize it? I rolled in that one. Never mind. I rolled in that one. It was a squid.
Yeah.
I was gonna say totally could have if it wasn't a nat one.
Yeah.
If Scree had pointed it out, no, it's not a squid, I may have said you could just oh, that's the whip that she had, so you could make that relation. Yeah.
Now here's my question: does any of the party members look at it when they walk out the door?
I totally look at it.
I figured.
What do you think?
Even if Clucky did,
Unless
he's
it
not
gets
gonna be able to
pointed
say
out
anything.
to Petrichor.
I love it. Scree's just standing there showing off his artwork. Look
Scree
what I
suddenly
just
has
did.
a beret and a French mustache.
Clucky totally
So
notices it.
if Scree is pointing it out, then Petrichor would notice it.
I feel like if people are walking past, like, what do you think? He's
Don't
kind of
step
proud
on
of
it.
it.
Don't step on it.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I'm just like, oh.
So, yeah, Petrichor, I would allow you to make another religion check if you wish.
A single roll?
Did I have you roll with advantage last time?
I love how
Yes,
they
I
just
did.
throw that in there. A single roll?
So, yes, you could have advantage again.
A natural 20 for a 22.
Noise.
Ain't gonna get much better than that.
Let's roll 1.
All right. Petrichor, now that you're looking at this again, a little bit less stressed, a little bit more composed, thinking about a few things. You know your deity.
Oh, a lot.
We'll be
Wow.
back after the short message from our sponsor.
No, I don't. Bye.
And now a word from our sponsors. Old Spice. Now look at your man. Now look at me. Now look at your man again. Now look back at me.
KJ said I rolled it at 20. That's it. We're done, guys.
I won the
peaked.
game. I won the party. I won the campaign. Everybody go home.
So, you know your deity, the Raven Queen. you know that she is a goddess of both life and death, and the transfer of both and all things, and that cyclical motion that we as living things go through. You are now, upon looking at this image, reminded of another deity of death. One who doesn't quite get along with the Raven Queen, as their views on death are very different. This symbol that you now see is the nine-tailed barbed scourge whip of Loviatar, the Maiden of Pain. We can't hear you. Cursed technology.
Technology.
Avada Kedavra!
I think for anyone, pretty much everyone, those who can see Petrichor, they twitch slightly, and one of their eyes flickers for a second. And Barrow can hear kind of the flickering of a light. Normally would be the electricity sounds slightly different. Or they cock their head and kind of go, "Oh."
Petrichor?
And then they
What
walk
is-
out the door.
Is there?
Anna has left the building.
No, I'm still here. Hold on. I'll be
It's
back.
fine, it's fine. I'm
Darn,
just
just
teasing.
when we thought we could have talked some smack. Yo, that drawing was horrible, guy.
This is what
Um,
crushes Scree.
In Clucky's words.
Barrow is just going to follow after Petrichor and ask, once catching up, ask them, what happened?
The woman who is associated with
up?
Lovitar,
What are you being so loud for? I can hear you all the way down.
I'm not sure I like her.
Ron's gonna complain if you wake him up.
So you know who
I'm
this
doing well. I'm barely talking.
entity that was there before? You know who she is?
Whatever.
Alright, bye.
Does not get along well with my patron. They have very different views on the values of death.
I did not know you had a patron. What are the names?
Well, that is what the symbol on my chest is. The Raven Queen.
Ah, I see. And so, what is this new deity believe that concerns you so?
I don't know specifics. But I do know that I do not agree with what they stand for, considering my subconscious knowledge. Can't explain it.
Well, for now, there is not much we can do other than to stay alert and keep an eye out for our friends until we find our way back home.
Don't say anything.
At this time,
As you guys make your way out the door, Levitar's gonna look at Clucky. What's our heading?
upon landing and receiving or being greeted by Lovitar, Clucky starts contemplating, shifting his head around, trying to remember his bearings on where he just came from. Remembering, finally getting a bearing on where the tree was that he last saw. He points in what he's now going to designate as north. And that's what, and you see him gesture as to move in that direction.
Okay, I believe you. You all ready?
Xanthi just nods and waits for the rest of the group.
You notice that Petrichor is purposely avoiding eye contact with you.
I imagine it's you, Isaac.
Well, I assume so. I did this, and I saw.
Oh, I
Pedro, like,
know.
mhm.
I know it's.
You know what you did.
I didn't do nothing. It wasn't my fault. My dad told me anyway when he went to go get milk.
Never came back.
It's actually orange juice.
Anyway. Are we?
Okay, I start walking
wandering?
north.
Yeah, when the group starts watching, Petrichor will again hold Barrow's hand, but purposely wait till the rest of the group is in front of them, taking up the rear.
Clucky will take point on this march order, guiding them towards the now world tree.
World Tree working title.
They will be the bologna in the sandwich and just be in the middle.
I'm just there.
And Barrow wanders off into the forest.
If that's where Petrichor takes me, I guess that's where I'm going.
We take a moment for a tinkle break, and I also need to put my dogs up.
Yes, we could take a quick break to do that. We do have about half an hour left.
Oh shit.
Okay, all right, I will be.
Oh shit, my guy. I'll be right back. I'm gonna refill my beverages.
So we level up to 5 after this, right?
Do you think you should?
Absolutely. That trauma I just went through?
That is a
I mean,
scary
Yeah,
one.
yeah, for real. For the absolute emotional trauma that we're gonna need a therapist for.
Like
Although I do feel like. Go ahead.
It's like level 4 was earned through combat, level 5 was earned through trauma. It's mental
Trauma
suffering.
bonding.
I felt like
What's
we
level
had a
6 gonna be
little.
You're the DM.
Ooh. Now I loved how you had like a little therapy moment with Petrichor. Like you just sat down like, and how are you feeling? Explain your feelings to me. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Those are
Petrichor
okay
doesn't really
feelings.
have feelings, so they
but-
don't know how to describe it.
Petrichor, how are you feeling? I don't know. I haven't unlocked that memory yet.
This is new to me. I don't know.
Ask me in a few more sessions.
Essentially.
I mean, I do have to say, when I made Barrow, I never anticipated that his journey was going to be a Mr. Miyagi for a construct.
I love that you just like kind of accepted that you've become like the father figure in terms of this little robot because nobody else has shown any care for this thing.
I mean, I feel like it just happened. It just happened.
You're holding a
Like he's
chicken's
there,
hand,
but,
you're
like-
holding a robot hands, and then a rat sitting on your shoulder.
Yeah.
Oh, is
Fucking
Scree
fair,
with
but,
Barrow
like,
and not
can't
with
talk.
Lovitar?
I was
Oh,
about
no,
to say.
Scree's with me.
Clucky's
No,
been
screw him back to.
Oh. Screw was briefly.
How
Yes.
could you forget
Briefly.
about Clucky? He left you that pineapple fruit thingy.
the thing.
Yeah, he left
They
you that
appreciate
pineapple fruit.
they appreciate Clucky for their quirkiness and how they go about things because they relate to not functioning like everybody else does. Clucky can't talk. There's a bit of a barrier.
I'm just going to point out with Clucky's gift, Warforged, this trait's constructed resilience says you don't need to eat, drink, or breathe. Not that you can't.
Why do you think I ate something? Because it says you don't need to eat, sleep, or drink.
Because then I
But
can
I
eat it
have a
later.
mouth.
Or I think the reason Petrichor hasn't like eaten actual things yet is because they don't know that they can until it like actually gets brought up in some kind of moment and they realize, oh yeah, I probably could try this out. Like it doesn't occur to them that that's something that they can do.
I love it. I want to see somebody make a Warforged character that no, I'm doing it right now. We're changing that foodie lizard folk artificer that I made the other day. We're changing them to a Warforged just because, you know, they tried food once, thought it was great, and just now they have to explore all the food.
There's a lot of things I'm interested in exploring that's not like any critical anything, just like things that they don't know. Like treat them as a newborn, like they were brand new. Like when you met them, they're remembering things that just aren't there. They are a newborn child. They can talk.
I have this goblin artificer. From Goblin lore, they refuse to read books because they believe books to be the theft of thought. So my artificer Grimwald, in order to learn, he eats the books. Whether or not he actually learns anything from it, I mean that's up to. I mean, maybe he does, maybe he doesn't, but so
you
far
learned something, that's for sure.
Today I learned the taste of a 200-year-old book and 250-year-old book are different.
Yeah, no.
I feel enlightened.
Yeah, I mean, he's managed to pick up spells somehow doing it.
I have learned that ingesting copious amounts of papyrus gives you constipation.
Wisdom.
Anywho, speaking of learning new things, you are learning a lot about this landscape as you travel through. It is rough going. There are roots coming up out of the ground, left, right, and center. The distance between the trees goes from a couple dozen couple dozen feet gap all the way down to being so tight that you can barely fit through, unless of course you're Scree. And going right back out again, and all manner of flowers, trees, vines, plants that you see all over the place. There are some recognizable fauna in the area. You've seen some small frogs. You've seen some little monkeys swinging in the trees. A couple feline-esque creatures walking through. There is just all kinds of life permeating this land. You walk through unhindered for, I'd say, maybe an hour or two, and as you are, there is. Let me double check one thing.
No big
You
cats
are walking through a small little run between the trees that kind of sort of creating a little bit of a natural path. Borrow. there is a sound from the branches above you. That is a sound that only can be made by creatures of medium size that are bipedal in the canopy